You know that moment when your head is spinning, your to-do list is overwhelming, but you give yourself a pep talk to just focus on one thing in your business, right? But then you sit there and you're staring at your options and think, I don't know which one to choose, and I don't want to choose wrong. That's what we're talking about in this video, why that decision feels so loaded, and what you actually need to be considering when you choose a priority to focus on in your business. In the last video in this series, we talked about why holding too many priorities at once is what's keeping your business feeling scattered, and why choosing one priority at a time can create not only real relief, but momentum in your business towards your goals. What we didn't talk about yet is how scary that choice can feel. And it's not because you're unsure of what you want, but because you don't fully see what each option is going to ask of you. If you ever feel like you don't know what you don't know, and that uncertainty keeps you frozen instead of fully committing, that's what we're unpacking in this video. Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm a former business lawyer, and I've been a business owner and mentor for over 13 years. On this channel, we talk about calm, capacity-aware planning and decision-making for service-based business owners, especially when traditional planning just hasn't worked for you in the past. So let's talk about what's actually missing when you try to choose a priority, even when you know you need a new level of focus to get to where you want to be. A lot of small business owners are more familiar with the idea of making vision boards. It's really lovely. You sit down, you collect images, you name what you want to build or experience in the year ahead of you, and you anchor into how you want your life and business to come to fruition and to feel. Vision boards are powerful. They help you to connect to desire, direction, and possibility. But where they tend to fall short is when it comes time to decide what to actually focus on next and how to create a plan that will get you to where you want to be. And this is not for a lack of vision. It's because vision boards aren't designed to help you make decisions or an actual plan that you can implement. There are a few things they simply don't show you, and your plan needs those pieces if choosing a priority is going to feel grounded instead of overwhelming. The first thing vision boards don't show you is sequence. Everything on a vision board sits side by side, equally meaningful, equally important, and equally meant for, right, this year. But when your brain looks at that, it has no way to tell what needs to come first. And when everything feels like it matters now, committing to one thing can feel like you're abandoning the others. That's often where the emotional weight starts to show up. Not just because you're being dramatic or overly sensitive, right? But because there's no order in place yet. Now, I don't need you to go make a huge brain dump of all the actions that you think would move all of the vision board items forward and then get overwhelmed. That's going to help no one. The second thing vision boards don't show you is the learning energy or the micro decisions inside each of those images that you put on the poster. One image on the board, like a new website or starting a podcast, right? It looks simple on paper, but in reality, it includes clarifying your audience, refining your offers, writing copy, making design decisions, maybe a hire, choosing tools, learning platforms, often all at once to make that launch happen. Now, when you don't acknowledge that learning curve clearly, it's very easy to choose multiple priorities off of this vision board that each require full mental bandwidth. And when that starts to feel heavy or slow, or the reality kicks in, maybe you're not inclined to question the plan and scale back. You start to question yourself and whether you're good enough to hack it. It's very easy to assume that you chose wrong or you should just be able to do this because everybody else seems to have it figured out, when really you may have thought some of these things were like small projects that you could just bang out, and they are in fact what could be a whole 90-day focus to be done well and to completion. The third thing vision boards don't show you is how your capacity changes over time. It's really easy to feel energized after working on your vision board, and then to make yourself a plan, it's going to kind of assume that you're going to be in that same steady energy, steady focus, and have steady availability for the whole time you're going to implement this. But as a service-based business owner, your capacity shifts. Client work intensifies, life happens, and your nervous system has real limits. So when a plan doesn't account for that, it stops feeling safe to commit because part of you knows you may not be able to follow through the way the plan expects because you are not a robot. And this is when choosing a priority starts to feel risky, even fearful, instead of supportive. So if choosing one priority feels scary, it's not because you're unsure of what you want. That vision is clear. It's because you're being asked to decide without really understanding and seeing sequence, learning energy, or capacity clearly. This can all be easily fixed with some habit shifts in how you approach planning. And once this shift happens, choosing becomes a lot less about pressure and a lot more about discernment and self-leadership. So if choosing one priority has been feeling heavier than it should, I want you to hear this clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. When you understand how and start accommodating for really taking that sequencing, learning energy, and capacity into account as you make your plans, and choosing stops feeling like a gamble and starts feeling grounded, like your success is becoming inevitable. In the next video, I'll show you how looking at your top priority candidates through both an energetic and strategic lens can immediately shift how exciting and achievable it all feels. I'm going to use a real example from one of my recent workshop clients so you can feel what this looks like in practice. And if you want support with this right now, that's exactly what we do in my free workshop, Holding Clarity. We focus on discernment and accounting for your capacity, not building a perfect plan that you won't be able to follow through on. And you walk away with one clear priority for your next 90-day season that actually fits your capacity and your goals. You'll find the link to the workshop below, and I'll see you in the next video.